it's been noted how the internet has kind of shifted from hating Dillon Danis for never fighting to loving Dillon Danis for trolling Logan Paul. It's an amazing story arc, and I just couldn't help but talk about it.
Let me tell you something about Andrew. This is my boy right here. You disrespect him, you're disrespecting me.
Inside fighting. Shout out to Inside Fighting.
We're back. It's the Fight Season Podcast. It's me, Jesse Rowe, with Inside Fighting, joined as always by Timothy James and Andrew Capucetti. What's up, boys? How you guys doing?
What up?
Doing good. Glad to be back.
What up?
Let's go. We're coming fresh off the Canelo Alvarez, Jermell Charlo press conference. Cap, you were there. What was it like? What were the vibes like? Actually, before I ask you that, Timmy, how you doing? How's Brazil?
Brazil's good, the weather's fine, the people are finer, same old stuff.
We always like to get an update from our good friend Timmy in Brazil because you're in a complete different country, and it's good to know what's going on down there.
That and Dana White did announce officially UFC is coming to Brazil in November, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Who?
Dana White.
Gives a fuck.
You walked right into it, Timmy. You walked right into it, bro.
About UFC Brazil, bro. Just you. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Is that
when is it coming back to Brazil?
What happened?
When's it coming back?
It's Blades versus Almeida. It's Curtis Blades versus the Brazilian Habib.
Oh, wow. Almeida's going to eat him up. Well, Blades is a wrestler, too. That'll be a good one.
It's a very good fight.
Yeah, Almeida has hands. Is that a fight night or a pay-per-view? No, it's a fight night.
It's a fight night, but it's going to be a decked-out fight night, because it's
well, nice.
Location.
We'll get you credentialed up, and you'll be there.
But yeah, boots on the ground.
Love it. So Cap, you were there at the Canelo Alvarez, Jermell Charlo press conference. It just ended something like an hour ago as we're recording this. Yeah. What were the vibes like? How was it? It seems like the guys were pretty complimentary in the press conference. Just what's your take on it, the event overall?
Well, I'm a little tired. I was there all day from about 11 a.m. to about 3:30. I was there hanging out with my good buddy, boxing reporter, Ali Sekbak. Me and him like to stay on the scene to the very end. Not to give away my secrets here, but I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? But it was good. The vibes, it was at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. PBC always knows how to put these press conferences on. It's a very elegant hotel. They do it outdoors, so it's hot as fuck. And Canelo, you'll see a video we posted on Instagram. He actually did a shirt change. He brought one designer shirt. He sweated through it. And then he took his shirt off. He was looking shredded, ripped, put on a Dolce & Gabbana shirt. So Canelo knew, because he's done a press conference there before, they're outdoors. Today it was about 95 degrees in LA. So he came prepared with the second shirt.
Bro, and that's, if people don't know, that's actually where they also held the second Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis press conference. They did the same thing. They did New York, and then they did LA the next day. It's sort of the same blueprint.
Also the key in place where Canelo and Plant got into an on-stage scuffle.
Right. I actually watched that recently. It's random. It popped up in my feed. But so Canelo, I saw that. He's looking shredded, by the way, but we'll get back to that. But you also talked to Jermell Charlo. He mentioned the heat, and he's a Texas boy. He's from Texas. At the beginning of your clip, he talks about the LA heat, and he was like, this is hotter than Texas, which I thought was surprising because it was only 95 degrees. I think it's the humidity, it's not a dry heat out here in LA. It's the humidity.
Charlo said it was hotter than Texas?
Yeah, that's what he says at the beginning of your clip. It was hotter than Texas. And that says a lot, man. That says a lot.
When I was in Dallas, Texas for the Nate Diaz fight, it was hot as fuck, 105 degrees.
I remember, bro, you were sweating.
Yeah.
Bro, Dallas is a hot ass city. Who would have thought?
I'm excited for the fight. I think people are sleeping on it a little bit. I think people aren't giving Charlo much of a shot. That's just from what I've read. But
if you guys watch the clip on our Instagram, you'll hear one reporter go, "How much you weigh right now?" Such a garbage question. So oftentimes I got to stand amongst these other reporters, and they're fucking up my footage. So if you guys watch the footage, whoever sounds lame, that's not me.
I noticed that. He didn't like it.
Yeah, he didn't don't ask. This guy's 2 months out from the fight. Who gives a fuck how much he weighs right now? What a generic, boring question. But that's what happens at these press conferences. There's about 100 media members, and you got to work amongst them. Not usually my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. The first thing I noticed when watching them standing next to each other is the size, because Jermell, he's moving up 2 weight classes, right, for this fight.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's taller than Canelo. Am I wrong about that? Is he taller than Canelo?
No, Canelo actually was talking about it at the New York leg of the press conference that he's usually the smaller fighter versus anyone he fights.
Right.
Yep.
And Canelo fights from like 154 all the way to 175. And
Right.
yeah, Charlo's another bigger guy than him, taller.
Yeah.
But Canelo just has that Mexican power, that strength. He's just a pit bull. You know what I mean? He'll pit bulls aren't always the biggest dogs in the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're strong as fuck.
One thing before we switch topics, Jermell Charlo, you asked him about, Canelo wants to, he invited Peso Pluma to, I don't know if he actually invited him, Cap. Maybe you can clarify.
No, he did. Because I know Canelo and big Mexican singer Peso Pluma. Peso Pluma is the biggest Mexican star to come out of Mexico as far as music in decades. He's massive. He's like a Justin Bieber Mexican version, and he's blowing up here in the States. But I know him and Canelo are boys. So I asked Canelo if he invited Peso to walk him out, to ring walk him. And he said he did, but he's busy. And he's right. Peso's on a world tour right now. Peso Pluma is a very busy young artist. He's on a full world tour right now.
Yeah, you caught Peso Pluma, or you caught Ryan Garcia backstage at a Peso Pluma concert, right? With
everyone's getting that Peso love. Everyone's trying to link with Peso. But Canelo's already linked with Peso before. Ryan has, but yeah.
We love, I'm a big fan of Mexico, so I love Canelo. I love Peso Pluma. I live, 200 miles or whatever it is from the Mexican border, and I have 2 Chihuahuas. I got one right here. So I'm a big fan of the culture that comes out of Mexico.
Are Chihuahuas actually Mexican dogs? I'm not even sure if that's a fact.
Chihuahua is a city in Mexico. I don't know if that's where the dog.
Yeah.
But...
No,
that's true.
Chihuahuas are as Mexican as you get. So much so that if you actually go to Mexico,
in here, and Timmy had more Mexican facts than me. I forgot Chihuahua was a city.
You'll literally see Chihuahuas like roaming the streets of Tijuana. I mean, they're just the abandoned ones, unfortunately.
Jesse wants to go with the Chihuahuas in Tijuana.
Right. Yeah. Really quick before we go, the one thing I want to get to talk about is the rebirth of Dillon Danis on Twitter. It was announced recently that he's fighting Logan Paul. And, a lot of people debate whether or not he's actually going to fight Logan Paul. But Dillon Danis has used this opportunity to really just troll Logan Paul to no end, posting photos of Logan's fiancée, Nina Agdal, and her previous relationships with men. And we don't need to get into all that, but just it's been noted how the internet has kind of shifted from hating Dillon Danis for never fighting to loving Dillon Danis for trolling Logan Paul. It's an amazing story arc, and I just couldn't help but talk about it. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
Facts.
Yeah. Timmy, you've been following Dillon Danis for a long time. Bellator fighter, MMA guy, Connor's training partner, teammate. Is this Dillon Danis's finest hour?
It just might be. I mean, it's really the comeback story of the year. I think he's really made a name for himself for let's just say agitating the MMA and boxing community with his colorful takes, and these tweets. Let me tell you, they've been colorful. He has been ruthless against Logan Paul, and apparently he said that the fight might have been in jeopardy because they were trying to censor him. Misfits Boxing actually tried to censor him, and allegedly Logan Paul issued a cease and desist. So clearly, if that's true, it's getting under Logan Paul's skin. But Logan Paul reacted. He bet Conor McGregor, I think $1 million, that he would beat Dillon Danis the day after that McGregor guaranteed that Danis would win. So this whole storyline's building up steam. I mean, Dillon Danis might be out of pocket, but people seem to love it. So,
yeah. You wrote the cease and desist article. So my understanding of it is that it was a harassment issue. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I believe they're trying to make the argument that it counts as targeted harassment, targeted online harassment.
Right. And this is all alleged. There's no actual like proof that this is actually happening, but
right, we don't know if the reports are true that Logan Paul actually did. But clearly, it doesn't seem to be like the fight is getting called off or anything. I bet in the end, this is going to be a great marketing tool. I really hope this fight actually happens because I know these things are often up in the air.
Right.
I can't wait to touch on this Dillon Danis stuff, but breaking news to me, I didn't see this tweet, but I guess Nate Diaz posted 3 hours ago. Oh, you can't really see it, but maybe Jesse can pull it up on the podcast. But Nate Diaz tweeted 3 hours ago, "Nah, we boxing," with the boxing emoji. That tells you enough. His Nate Diaz's next fight will be in boxing. But we can go back to Danis. I just did want to bring up real quick that that's big news. And I'm happy because I thought he looked really good versus Jake Paul. And he was the more active fighter. Jake Paul caught him once, flash knockdown. I can't wait to see Nate Diaz's second appearance in the boxing ring. I mean, these MMA guys, when they go and do boxing, you know what I mean? It's super interesting. So I'm excited to see it. But anyways, let's go back to Dillon Danis.
Yeah.
I'm excited to just to build off what Cap said. I'm excited because McGregor actually gave a 3-fight outline. He said he was going to fight Chandler, he was going to pick up the BMF belt against Gaethje, and then he wanted the Nate trilogy. So I wonder, because I've always wondered if they do that third trilogy, that third fight in boxing, because I bet both guys would be down. I bet because they both love boxing. Nate versus Conor in boxing, that'd
be sick as fuck. Nate and Conor's a great boxer too. That'd be a crazy trilogy. Conor's a great boxer, but I think Nate at the end of the day will just body him. People don't understand. Nate's the bigger guy. They get all impressed by Conor and his juice jack photos. Even looking juice and jack, I still think Nate's slightly bigger. Slightly.
Well, I also think Conor is known more for being the striker than Nate is. I think like that's just probably like where Nate's the jiu-jitsu guy, Conor's the striker guy. I just think that's,
Nate's a jiu-jitsu guy, can also strike, but yeah, you're right.
Right. No, but you know what I'm saying? That's sort of like the general consensus. But I don't know. I want to see MMA just because they're 1-1 in MMA. It would be an insane ending though to end it in the boxing ring. It just really depends on timeline. Because it makes more sense. Conor probably needs to get a win in UFC more than Nate does. So Nate can probably wait. He has the luxury of waiting for the UFC trilogy, whereas Conor probably needs to get another win under his belt in the UFC to make that fight happen, even though
what do you guys think is more likely? First of all, do you think Conor could get the BMF belt off Gaethje so he could do that trilogy with Nate? And then if so, what's a bigger fight pay-per-view wise? Nate versus Conor 3 in boxing, or Nate versus Conor 3 in the UFC for the BMF belt?
I think, man, that's a good question. Great question, Timmy. I don't know. I think the bigger, I don't know. What would I want to see? What I'd rather see? I'd rather see them box. I already saw them do MMA twice. Watching them box would be crazy.
I think they'll make more money in boxing because they'll have like some control over the promotion. I think the trilogy in UFC for the BMF would be bigger in terms of like social media, pay-per-view, all that stuff. I think it would get more traction. I still think it would be huge either way. This is just like we're splitting hairs here, but that's my first impression. So
well, listen, we were talking about Dillon Danis, and they're both connected. Nate and Conor are both connected to Dillon Danis. It's one of Conor's good friends. I don't want to call him best friend, but great friend, training partner. And then we all know Nate Diaz threw a water bottle, Danis, or had that NYC New York City altercation after the MSG card.
And Habib also attacked Dillon Danis in the crowd, right? That was the first guy he went to when he jumped the cage against Conor. He went straight for Dillon Danis.
But then Nate has also fucked Khabib in the crowd. Everyone's all connected with beefs.
Yeah.
Nate has once smacked Khabib inside a crowd at
for taking a photo of him
or something like that at a lower level pro.
It was World Series of Fighting.
That's right. That's right.
He was there his teammate. I forgot who his teammate it is, but he didn't get to see the fight. That's what he says in the interview.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, so Timmy, you made a great point about Dillon Danis, comeback of the year. You're right, bro. This guy. Earlier, I was just saying facts off what Jesse was saying, but Dillon Danis made the comeback of the year. From most hated to now people, MMA media, they're loving him because he's bashing Paul. This is the perfect guy for him to bash Logan Paul, because I think fans are going to dislike Logan more than they're going to dislike Danis. They're going to dislike both, but I hope the fight actually happens. So,
well, there's debate about whether he's doing this to get out of the fight, to get Misfits to drop him. Is he doing as much as he can to get Misfits to drop him so that the fight never actually happens, so that he doesn't have to pull out? That is a media narrative that I've seen, or a Twitter narrative that I've seen. So I guess let's just end it here. Do you guys think Dillon Danis shows up in October on that Tommy Fury KSI card versus Logan Paul, or do you think they will replace him with Hasim Rahman Jr. or some other fighter down the road?
If Danis is going to show up, I think he has to start training now. So if we see footage of him training every day in the next coming weeks, then yeah, he'll show up. It all depends if he's in shape. I don't think he's talking shit to get dropped from the card. I think that's a stupid narrative. I think he's talking shit because he generally doesn't like Logan Paul and he dislikes Logan Paul. So now that's his new opponent. So he's just talking shit because that's the guy he's going to fight. And I don't think he likes him. I don't think he's trying to get dropped from the fight. There's other ways to get dropped from the fight than talking shit to your opponent. But that's my opinion on that. And I hope the fight goes through. And Dillon Danis has to train, because if you guys seen Logan Paul, he's all jacked up like his brother. They're lifting all the time. So Dillon Danis better get in the gym if he's really going to box Logan Paul. This ain't show up. And every day Dillon Danis taps him easy. But this is boxing. So
yeah. Timmy, does he show up?
Yeah, I'm going to plead the fifth on this one. I want him to. I'll say that. I want him to.
Yeah. I think he does. I think the fight's going to happen. I'm optimistic. I think Conor McGregor has defended Dillon Danis publicly for the fight. He didn't defend him during the lead up to the KSI fight. He is defending him here, saying that he wants to train him. That's a lot of pressure on Dillon Danis to follow this through to the end. I think to have Conor giving his full support publicly behind you in this fight, I think that says a lot. So I do think Dillon Danis will show up.
Facts.
Yeah.
Conor giving his public support is a big deal.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess that concludes our podcast for now. But this weekend is massive. UFC Boston. Can't wait to break down the fights next week. But we're gonna break them down on our betting show here shortly.
Yeah. Make sure you guys tune in, because
Hey, but listen, here at Inside Fighting, we like to cover most or to all aspects of the fight game. So I do want to touch on Anthony Joshua real quick. Impressive win in boxing last weekend. There's another boxing match. Oscar Valdez lost. What else happened this past weekend? Alycia Baumgadner tested positive for steroids. Oh my
God, yeah.
Which is like 2 or 3 different substances, which is huge news because she's looked absolutely magnificent as a woman's boxer, and she's always looked jacked up. So I don't know, man. I don't know if these steroid, maybe these test results are true. Who knows? But someone was telling me today at the Canelo press conference that this is the 3rd Matchroom boxer. Matchroom is Eddie Hearn's promotion. This is the 3rd Matchroom boxer to test positive. So there was Conor Benn. Today there was Baumgartner, and there's Dylan White. Heavyweight Dylan White.
Eddie Hearn made a statement about that, I think, today, where he said that they've ramped up their testing, and that testing has expanded so much that we might see some inconsistencies, or he used some sort of slick wording. I don't know whether he's right or wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. But
I do want to give my final opinion on that Baumgartner subject. If I had to guess, I would say she's innocent. Free Baumgartner, and Eddie Hearn's probably right. I believe in those inconsistencies. She don't look possible.
Like, I mean, people, athletes, it's 50-50. You either know or you don't, but there is so much out there now for you to build muscle that you don't realize that there's stuff in there. There are many cases where you're just unaware.
Yeah, it could be a tainted supplement. We've actually seen some of these inconsistencies play out in the UFC before. Right. John Jones tested positive for something that he had already tested positive for. And there was talk with Nowitzki or whatever, the USADA guy who works with the UFC. Yep. He said something along the lines of the testing might actually be too good because it's picking up this pulsing effect from a drug that Jones accidentally took years ago, right? You know, the whole gas station dick pill saga.
Yeah.
So it might
Right.
be true
Right.
that testing has gotten a little bit too crazy because it's picking up stuff that shouldn't even be detectable anymore. That's why John Jones said a pinch of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So it might be one of those scenarios too.
And that's not us saying that she's 100% that we know for sure. That's just us saying the possibility is there. Don't judge until we know all the facts. Yeah. Don't judge until we know all the facts, because she's one of the best. She is the best female boxer right now. And
Well,
it would suck if,
her and Clarissa Shields and
right.
And Katie.
It would suck if she knowingly took the supplements. So let's hope that that's not the case. But either way, boys, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to Inside Fighting, make sure you check out our betting show, How to Fuck Up Your Parlay. We're going to be breaking down UFC 292 and all the fights on the main card. It's a banger this weekend. And boys, good to see you all right?
Peace.
Let me tell you something about Andrew. This is my boy right here. You disrespect him, you're disrespecting me.
Inside fighting, shout out to Inside Fighting.